Trigonometry is one of my favorite subjects. In almost all of my later years of studies I came across in some form or the other. The word trigonometry is derived from Greek words trigon and metron, meaning measure of triangle. In old times the subject was used by ship crew for navigation, surveyors to create maps, and by engineers. Nowadays the subject is used in cryptography, analyzing musical tone, designing electric circuits, etc. At the end of this video we will run simple usage of trigonometry, for example how one can measure the height of the building, or measure the speed of an airplane. Think about it. So let us first understand how to measure an angle. And for those who are new to the word angle, angle is that space between two intersecting lines. And we need an unit to measure that space. Like we have unit for measuring length, say kilometer, feet, yard, etc. And for temperature we have Celsius, Fahrenheit and Kelvin. Most of the time two units are used to measure an angle: degree and radian. And one can use the instrument protractor or sextant to measure the angle. Guess the circle in ancient time was divided into 360 parts for simplicity, close to 365 days of year. So one part of 360 is called 1 degree. 1 degree is further divided into 60 minutes, and 1 minute consists of 60 seconds. Guess radian is shorthand for radius units. A radian is the ratio between arc length and radius. In simple term, radian is the number of units traveled in a unit radius circle. Hence a whole circle will be 2 pi radian. Now for those who are new to pi. Pi is a mathematical constant which denotes the ratio between length of circle called circumference to its diameter. And diameter is twice of radius. So the circumference of the unit circle is 2 pi. Here is table showing some of the common degrees and corresponding radian. And for your information, there are other units like grad, gun, sine, mil, revolution, circle, turn, quadrant, right angle and sextant for measuring angles. Now that we learned angle measurement, before we go further into trigonometry, we'd like to talk about similar triangle and ratios. So in the above figures, each of those are expanded version of inner triangles. So, the angles of the triangle are same. And if you closely observe figure 2 and 3 involve right triangles and are same just in one side as C is overlapping and another angle between C and A is. In each of the figure, if you take the ratio of side of inner triangle to outer, it would be same. So, in reverse way, if someone tells you the ratio and one side, you can figure out the other side. And in case of right triangle which has one angle as 90 degree, one can also tell the angle. Like we multiply 5 by 18 to convert kilometer per hour to meter per second. We have these magic ratios that will help in solving triangle-related problems by finding missing side or angle. So the first ratio is the sine derived from Latin word sinus called curve, meaning half chord. So in a unit circle the half chord is called the sine, which is same as the ratio of perpendicular to hypotenuse. The other side of the right triangle is cosine. The ratio of sine and cosine is the tangent or tan. Tan is the ratio of perpendicular to base. Given that there are 3 sides, there is 6 possible ratios. The other ratios are cotangent or cot, which is reciprocal or multiplicative inverse of tan. The reciprocal of cosine is secant or sec theta. The reciprocal sine is cosecant or cosec theta. Let us figure out the ratio for angle 30 and 60. Consider an equilateral triangle, that is, triangle have all sides as equal and all angles are equal. Say each side is 2a, then we can find the perpendicular height using Pythagorean theorem, which is square of hypotenuse is equal to sum of the squares of other two sides of right triangle. Now given this we can find the ratios. Now let us figure out the ratios for angle 45 degree. In case of this both the sides are equal, and hence using Pythagorean theorem, one can find the hypotenuse, given that the ratios can be found. Similarly for 0 degree the perpendicular is 0 and for 90 degree the base is 0. Here is a table of mostly used or so-called standard angles and the values of the ratios. To remember one can start with sine and use root of the value divided by 2. For example, for the first one root over 0 divided by 0 is 0. Then root over 1 by 2 is 1 by 2 and so on. The cos theta values are reverse ordered of sine values, and tan value is ratio of sin to cos. Hence accordingly one can find other ratios as well. Now that we know the ratios, let us try to measure the height of the building. Let us say the height is p, and one can find a point on the flat surface on the base which makes a 60 degree either using the sextant or protractor, and if don't have either instrument, then create a right triangle paper with the perpendicular side as 17.3 centimeters and base as 10 centimeter. Now given how far you are from the building and knowing that you are making 60 degree to the top, one can find the height. Okay, let us try to find the speed of the plane. This one is tricky. Had it been the case that we know at what height the plane is flying, it would have been easy. So here is what we are going to do. We will have one person standing at the bottom of one building of which we know the height, say t, and second person will stand at the top of the building, measuring the angle between a particular duration, say x, which could be 15 minutes or 30 minutes. Now the first person measured angles are alpha 1 and beta 1. The second person measured angles are alpha 2 and beta 2. Let us say perpendicular height of plane from person 1 is p, then we can get the distance traveled during that x minutes. Similarly we find the distance with respect to second person and equate. Cos distance traveled by plane is same irrespective of who measured. Then we eliminate p and lastly we divide the distance traveled by plane with time taken. Before we wind up, here is a magic with trigonometry which you can figure out how this happens. Sum of square of sine and cos is always 1. If you liked, please subscribe to the channel if not done yet. Also please share your ideas and valuable feedback, and also if you have any requests. Thanks for listening and best wishes for the day.